everybody. Happy Friday. Dr. Peter Glidden here. This is Fire Your MD Now, and I mean it. Visit my website, Fire Your MD Now, for all things science-based and clinically verified relative to non-drug treatments, non-drug philosophies, non-drug strategies for common health concerns. You've got two choices. Well, you've got a number of choices when you're up against a health issue, right? You can go to the MD whose profession is the leading cause of death in the United States and whose profession has consistently failed to help our health improve. You can go to those guys. Or you can go to the health food store, ask the clerk behind the counter who's read a book on the wonders of vitamin C by Linus Pauling. Or you can go to a licensed holistic physician, or you can just go to my website. Now, there's less than 300 people like myself with my level of clinical experience who are licensed in the practice of naturopathic medicine in the entire world right now. There's 350-something million Americans, and quite frankly, there isn't enough time nor hours in the day for us to help everybody in this country recover their health. And because our health is so bad, because our health we have such unbelievably poor health across the board, because there are such epic amounts of human suffering, and I mean epic. You don't think so? Go to Home Depot on a Saturday afternoon. Just go to the mall. Go to your local mall. Go to the Mall of America, for goodness sake. You live in Cincinnati. And just sit there and watch the shuffling mass of people ambling by. Everybody is sick in this country. And there's a reason that everybody's sick. It's because the medical profession that we have leaned on to help us with our health can't do that. We've taken the wrong dog to the hunt. Everybody's sick in this country, and very few physicians have the information that we have. And because the pharmaceutical industry controls information dispersal, medical information dispersal in this country, we are generating a grassroots coalition of the informed. So if you're lucky enough to live in a state where there's a licensed naturopathic physician, you can go and do a copay, do an office copay. You can sit in the doctor's office for an hour, and then you can get on board with their therapeutics. You can do that if you want, or you can just go to my website. It's free. Check out the information there. There's going to be more and more information available on that website starting in May. I'm going to have available password-protected pages on that website that you can click on and get information about what Dr. Glidden does for arthritis, and it's with specific product recommendations. And I can't sell any of the stuff, and I'm not, because that would be illegal. Well, I don't know that it would be illegal because they let medical doctors do that. They let chemotherapy doctors sell the chemotherapy drugs. Chemotherapy doctors get a cut of all chemotherapy. Did you know that? It's the only classification of drugs that the doctor gets a direct cut from. Now, your other doctor, he'll sell 1,000 prescriptions of Prozac in a month, and Pfizer Pharmaceutical or whoever makes that crap will send him to Las Vegas for a convention for free. That's kind of a through the back door kickback. They're okay with that, but, holistic physicians can't tell you what to take based on their clinical experience and sell it to you. You want to tell me the logic in that? There is none. It is 100% hypocritical, but in any event, I don't sell it. There's no bang from me for giving you this product. You're going to pay me for the information, $5 a month, $9 a month, $12 a month, depending on your level of subscription. For $12 a month, you're going to have access to science-based, clinically verified, safe and effective therapeutics that help you recover from most chronic health diseases. And that's way better than a $400, $500, $600, $800, $1,200 insurance premium every month, don't you think? Educate yourself, folks. Lift yourself out of despair. Lift yourself out of dis-ease into the sunny world of health, because it is 1,000 times easier than you think to help your body heal itself. This is what we do. Now, yesterday I was off on a rant, as I tend to do, about cancer treatment in the United States, and lo and behold, in the journal Nature, I just discovered this article. Certain drugs that are used to treat cancer affect blood vessel formation in tumors, but it seems that these drugs can reduce the efficacy of other cancer agents and increase the tumor's aggressiveness. Well, they screwed it up again, but you give them a pass. They screwed it up again. There's another $20 million of research down the drain. Oh, well. And, you know, we seem to be culturally inclined to be okay with this. And I am going to chip away at this until it breaks. As bad as you think the relationship between pharmaceutical money and the delivery of medicine is in the United States, it is 1,000 times worse. It's like one of those pictures of the iceberg, you know, where you just see the little bit of iceberg on top of the water, but you look underneath and it's like, oh my God, it's like 20 times bigger. It's like, holy crap. Well, that's what it's like. As bad as you think it is way, way worse. And, you know, even if you're okay with the whole profit motive, even if you're okay with a medical monopoly running medicine in the United States, even if, you know, you're some kind of, I don't know, you have some really strange sense of economics and you're okay with a for-profit, monopolistic, juggernaut medical system that fails to produce consistent results and that's actually turned into the most dangerous type of medicine in the world. Even if you're okay with that, the fact of the matter is that on the other side of the coin, there exist science-based, clinically verified alternatives to drugs and surgery. Alternatives to drugs and surgery. And you just don't know about it because your doctor doesn't know about it, because your doctor's not trained in it and your doctor doesn't want to know about it. I don't know why your doctor doesn't want to know about it, because they've been brainwashed by the medical schools that they went to and by the hospitals that they work in. You know, I'll tell you a story. I was working for, 10, 12 years in Massachusetts, down on the southern coast of Massachusetts in Cape Cod in a town called Hyannis, Massachusetts, you know, made famous by the Kennedys, right? So I had a little private practice there, and I was right in the center of the medical district in that town. I was like 2 blocks away from Cape Cod Hospital, and I was surrounded by, you know, eye, ear, nose, and throat offices and skin doctor offices and baby doctor offices, and I was right there in the middle of it. I had my little naturopathic office right there, and I hung out my flag and went at it for over 10 years. 2 stories spring to my mind right away from that experience in Massachusetts. A woman came to me with breast cancer. She'd just been diagnosed with breast cancer, and she wanted to know what I could do. And I told her, look, I can't treat cancer. That's against the law in the United States. I looked over her chart, and I saw that she was taking a medicine called Premarin. Premarin is a synthetic hormone made from horse hormone, 2 parts horse hormone and 1 part human hormone. It got the name Premarin because the horse hormones are manufactured from the urine of pregnant mares. Imagine that. And I'm the quack. This woman was taking horse hormones, and I'm the quack, right? So I looked, Premarin was the largest selling medicine in the United States for almost 30 years, and it was delivered for a non-medical condition, menopause. Menopause, by the way, is not a disease. It's a time of life. But anyway, the MDs had convinced hundreds of thousands, if not millions of women all across the country with non-medical conditions to take horse hormone, and she was one of them. So she was taking Premarin, and I looked up the side effects of Premarin. Sure enough, one of the top side effects of Premarin, breast cancer. So I say, son of a gun, how long have you been taking Premarin? She says, 2 years. I say, son of a gun, how long have you had the tumor? She says, about 2 months. I said, well, if it were me, I would stop taking the Premarin because it looks like a direct effect of the drug. And she said, that makes sense to me, and so she did. She stopped taking Premarin. 4 weeks later, she goes back to her oncologist for a follow-up, and what do you know, the tumor's gone. And not only was the tumor gone, but her fibrocystic breast condition had completely cured up. Now, I gave her medical nutrition. You know, I gave her vitamins and minerals and nutritional supplements. I changed her diet, and I gave her homeopathic medicine to boot, in addition to telling her that if it were me, I would stop taking the Premarin. Now, I couldn't tell her to stop taking the Premarin because I wasn't licensed to prescribe Premarin in Massachusetts. So I said, look, if you were my patient in Washington State where I can prescribe this crap, I'd tell you to stop taking it, but I can't here, so I'm just telling you, if it were me, I wouldn't do it. So she got the message, and she stopped it. So 4 weeks later, she goes back to her oncologist for a follow-up visit, and voila, Tumor's gone. Not only is the tumor gone, but the fibrocystic tissue in her breast was completely gone. It was gone. It was such a remarkable change that the physician, she was in her gown. She described this experience to me. She was in her gown, you know, those little paper gowns they make you put on, sitting on the table, and the nurse came in and handed the doctor the brand new mammogram that they'd just taken. Brand new. The follow-up, right, the second one. He looked at it for a minute and threw it down on the countertop and scolded the nurse for bringing him the wrong film, because he'd never seen such a dramatic change. He thought it couldn't possibly be the same patient, but guess what? It was. Did he apologize to the nurse? I don't know. I don't think so. Did he call me to find out what I did? I worked 2 blocks away from the guy. He knew who I was. He had the patient there. He had the mammogram before that showed the tumor in the fibrocystic breast. He had the post-mammogram, said no more tumor, no more fibrocystic breast. Do you think he would have called me to say, hey, what did you do? This is one of the most remarkable things I've ever seen? No. Why? I don't know why. I can postulate why. Because MDs have been brainwashed to believe that if they weren't taught it in medical school, it's just not so. And even though they have direct evidence over and over and over again that the holistic therapeutic carries water and works, they turn a blind eye to it. It never ceases to amaze me when this kind of stuff happens. I had another breast cancer patient, same situation, except this woman had conventional treatment. She had chemotherapy, double mastectomy, and radiation treatment. She was in a support group at the local hospital with 10, 15 other breast cancer women who had the same therapeutic intervention. She was the only one that did vitamins and diet in that support group, and she was the only one that's still alive today. I'm still waiting for the phone call from her oncologist. Ladies and gentlemen, medicine in the United States is not results-driven, it's profits-driven. And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, again, happy Friday. You've made it with me through week 3 of Fire Your MD Now. And next week, it's testimonials all week long. Testimonials all week long. I think I'm going to turn this into a tradition, having the last week of the month be all about testimonials. Because, you know, I can talk a blue streak, and I can tell you what I've seen, and I can tell you how bad the other guys are. But really, you know, you're not going to believe me unless you hear it from the horse's mouth, and that's just human nature. I understand that. These testimonials will make you cry, they'll make you laugh, and then they'll make you fire your MD now, which is exactly the point of all of it. Now, it's an interesting phenomenon, don't you think, that you would think that science, people that are involved with science, especially medical professionals, would be humanitarian, they'd be altruistic, they'd be open-minded, and, you know, they'd be open to new ideas, especially if they were science-based. I mean, that's what science is all about. Prove it, right? Well, it's not. As a matter of fact, it's exactly the opposite. Max Planck, a very famous physicist, a contemporary, I believe, of Einstein's, might have come a little later than Einstein, said that science progresses one funeral at a time, which means scientists are very dogmatic and they're entrenched in their beliefs, and they are some of the last people in the world to change their point of view. And also, from my point of view, MDs are ruthlessly hypocritical, because with them, it's all about science, right? It's all about double-blind this and prove that, and you've got to have a placebo-controlled trial in order to know it's authentic, and I want to see the research, baby, otherwise you can kiss my you-know-what. That's what they're all about, right? At least that's what they tell you, that that's what they're all about. And, oh, we can't do any of this holistic stuff because it hasn't been proven. Well, guess what? It has. Everything, well, not everything, but the vast majority of therapeutics that myself and my colleagues advise people to do, we advise them to do it because it's been proven to be effective, with research and clinical trials. That's why my profession exists. There's also something called the practice of medicine. And MDs are unbelievably hypocritical when it comes to this area. Because on the one hand, they'll tell you, oh, don't go to see those naturopathic doctors, don't go to see those chiropractors, don't go to see those homeopaths, because they're just selling you snake oil that's been unproven to be effective, even though A, that's a lie, and B, conservative estimates put off-label prescribing by MDs somewhere in the range of 40 to 65%, which means that 40 to 65% of the time, people go to MDs in the United States. The MD will recommend they take a drug that hasn't been approved by the FDA for that condition. So they'll give somebody a high blood pressure medicine for their anxiety. They'll give somebody an anxiety medicine to help them sleep. They'll give somebody a blood sugar medicine for their arthritic pain or whatever. And they do this because of something called the practice of medicine and clinical experience. You know, even though it hasn't been proven with $40 million of double-blinded, placebo-controlled trials by an independent third party that has no skin in the game, which, by the way, doesn't exist anywhere in medicine anymore, even though we're not going to do that, we're still going to see that by virtue of our clinical experience, this seems to be an appropriate therapy. They do that all of the time, and then they turn around and say, well, don't go to see those holistic people because when they do that, it's not okay, but we can do it. And they completely miss the fact that the vast majority of the stuff that we do is, in fact, science-based and clinically verified. Just do a PubMed search for, vitamin C. You'll pop up thousands of published articles that show you about vitamin C. Do a PubMed search for selenium. Thousands of articles pop up about selenium. There's an organization headed by a very famous scientist, Gerhard Schrauzer, which gives an award every year. It's an international award for scientists all around the world who have breakthrough discoveries just for the mineral selenium. Just for selenium, for goodness sake. And yet, listening to your MD, he would have you believe that everything holistic is sham and not backed up by science, and then he turns around and gives you a high blood pressure medicine to help you sleep. It is 100% hypocritical. I don't know how these guys sleep at night, quite frankly. It blows my mind every time an MD opens their mouth, because how do you know an MD's lying? His mouth is open. Now, when we come back on the other side of the break, I'm going to tell you how you can save 10 years, how you can increase your lifespan by 5 to 10 years simply by stopping this one food. Today, April 20th, welcome to FireYourMDNow.com, which is my website. The name of this show, Fire Your MD Now, hosted, of course, generously by the generous folks on the Genesis Communication Network. Spread the word about this show, folks. We're in our third week. We need to spread the message about this show and the information that's available here. So if you're having fun listening to what I have to say, spread the word, spread the message. It's a free show, right? You can listen to it from anywhere in the U.S. Tune in and snap out of it. That's my motto. Now, I promised before the break that I was going to tell you one thing that you can do to add 5 to 10 years to your life. You can start today, and it does not going to cost you anything. As a matter of fact, it's going to save you money. If you looked at a map of the United States for cancer mortality, deaths by cancer in the United States, the old Confederate states, from the Mason-Dixon line south through the old Confederate states, they have the largest amounts of cancer in the United States, and it's statistically significant. I mean, it's way bigger than any place else in the United States. There's a couple of isolated places, Indian reservations, around the U.S. where it's just as bad, but the lion's share of cancer in the United States, deaths from cancer, and cancer, well, everybody dies from cancer when you have cancer. Cancer occurs in the old Confederate states. And why is this? There's one reason and one reason only. The only difference between people that live in the old South and people that live, people that live in the southern part of the U.S., and people that live everywhere else in the U.S., they've got the same doctors, the same hospitals, the same drugs, the same insurance plans, the same ambulance companies. I mean, there's no difference, right? There's no difference hardly in the education and the availability of food. I mean, it's pretty much the same everywhere in the United States. The only difference is that culturally speaking, in the South, fried food is everywhere all the time. In the Old South, if they could, they'd fry water in the Old South if they could. They love fried food. Fried food is everywhere all the time in southern states. It's just part of the culture. And, you know, ironically, tragically, not ironically, tragically, this is a holdover from slavery, because the slave owners would feed the slaves table scraps, you know, and crap. You know, they'd have to forage in the fields for roots and bones of stuff that, you know, the masters threw away. Now, when you fry anything, it tastes pretty good. You could take a shoe and fry it, and it would taste pretty good. Fried anything tastes better than crap, right? So the slaves got into the habit of frying everything just so they could, you know, swallow it without throwing it up. And that tradition of frying food has caught on, lingered in the South into the modern day. Now, when you fry something, there is a chemical that's created in the frying process called acrylamide. Acrylamide. You spell that A-C-R-Y-L-A, M like Mary, I-D-E. Acrylamide. Acrylamide is carcinogenic. It causes cancer. And it also promotes inflammation in the body. So every time you swallow something that's fried, that's a French fry, that's fried chicken, that's Kentucky Fast, that's Popeyes, that's stir-fried rice, that's organic vegetables harvested by Trappist monks under a full moon while they're chanting. If they're fried in oil, it's fried. Anything fried contains acrylamide. And the higher the heat of the fryolator, I mean, if it's cooked in a fryolator, you know, like a fried shrimp is or fried chicken is, at really high heat, the acrylamide level is much higher. Acrylamide is so bad that European countries within the next couple of years, if not sooner, it might even be by the end of 2012, are going to be putting on labels, on warning labels on their fried food the same way we put them on cigarettes. If you buy fried food in European countries, it's going to be a warning label that says contains acrylamide, which dramatically increases your chance of cancer. And if you look at the map of the United States, it stands out in boldface. But, you know, meanwhile, MDs are running around like chickens with their heads cut off looking for some mysterious black gene that causes all this. There must be something genetically inferior about these people in the South because, the cancer rates are so unbelievably higher there. Well, guess what, you knucklehead? You're a colorblind art critic. You can see that that's a picture of a tree on the wall, but you're completely blind to the colors and the textures which make up the heart of the art. Medical doctors, MDs, are not trained in nutrition. They have no respect for it, no appreciation for it, and it doesn't enter into their methodology at all. If it does, it enters into it secondarily or tertiarily. It enters into it, you know, at a low, extremely low level of importance. They just don't think about things like this, and because they don't think about things like this, they completely miss the ball. Because they completely miss the ball, you get sick and die. And you give them a pass. Really, you know, we need to just treat the medical profession the same way that we treat everybody else that we're purchasing stuff from. If you purchase something, you know, from TJ Maxx or from Sears or from J.C. Penney or from Macy's, and it falls apart a week later, you're going to take it back and get a refund, right? Well, when you go to visit an MD and they give you a fake knee and then a month later it falls out, do they give you your money back? No. When you go to an MD and they convince you to take chemotherapy and it doesn't work, do they give you your money back? No. When you go to an MD and they give you hydrochlorothiazide for your blood pressure and 5 years later you get type 2 diabetes as a side effect from that, do they give you your money back? No. When the treatments don't work, you still have to pay them. It's the only profession that we allow this. Now, if it was a not-for-profit industry, if it was free care or, you know, subsidized somehow, And, it cost $1 to go there. If pharmaceutical companies were mandated by the government to be not-for-profit, and at the end of the year, all the extra money that they made was kicked back to you and me, so we wouldn't have to go bankrupt paying for expensive therapies that don't work. If it was like that, I wouldn't have any problem with it, because that's just life. But it's not. It's a for-profit system. And it is the only for-profit system that doesn't give you a refund and that continues to grow even though it sells an inferior product. And the only reason this happens is because somehow in this country, somewhere, we have gotten the notion, we have become mesmerized by the guys and the girls in the white coats. I swear to God, someone could put a white coat on their back, strap a stethoscope around their neck, and tell you to jump off the roof of the hospital because that's what you need to do to fix your fibromyalgia, and you would do it. Just because that guy with the white coat told you so. You don't believe me? Well, the guys with the white coats tell you to take rat poison to thin out your blood, and you do it. That's Coumadin. The guys with the white coats tell you to take chemotherapy, which is expensive and doesn't work, and you do it. They tell you that you need a knee replacement, which you don't really, and you do it. Over and over and over again, we follow their advice to the letter without question. We genuflect at that altar to our detriment all the time. I'm simply saying there's a second opinion. There is another way. It's time we started opening our eyes and taking advantage of real healthcare information. If you're happy with disease management, keep paying your insurance premium, keep going to the MD, and God bless you, it's a free country. But if you know in your heart that there must be a better way, well, this is it. You've found it. So one of the things that I encourage everybody, no, I demand from everybody, all my patients, all my clients across the country, stop eating anything fried 100%. Colonel Sanders has been dead for what? 20 years now, he's still killing people. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Louisiana Fast, Popeyes, McDonald's, French fries, potato chips. Fried food all the time in this country. Everything, we fry everything, and especially in the Old South. If you just stop eating fried food, you will add 5 to 10 years to your life. That's how bad fried food is for you. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are 9 other foods that my colleagues and I recommend everybody in this country stop eating. 9 other foods. They're just as bad as acrylamide. Well, maybe not just as bad. Acrylamide is number 1. There might be it's hard to know what's number 1. There are 3 foods that are neck and neck for the number 1 position. Acrylamide formation caused by frying something is certainly in that running. In total, there are 9 foods that we recommend everybody stop eating today. And if you follow this advice, you will significantly increase your health. You will positively impact your health, and you will extend your lifespan just by eliminating these foods. No vitamins, no exercise, no meditation, no yoga, no prayer, no nothing. You can sit in the closet for the rest of your life. Just don't eat these foods, and you'll extend your lifespan for 5 to 10 years. You want to know what the other 9 foods are? Go to fireyourmdnow.com and download the document. It's free. I'm not even charging for it. It's a free document. I just want to get you to go to the website. Go to the website, fireyourmdnow.com, and download the free document, Good Food, Bad Food. Now, the food that's on the good food list on that document is optional. If it's on the good food list, you can eat it or not eat it. I don't really care. But the food that's on the bad food list, you have to avoid it 100% all of the time. There's one food that's on the good food list that's mandatory that everybody must use every day, no exception to the rule. You want to know what it is? Fasten your seatbelt. Table salt. That's right. The old bugaboo, the old MD bugaboo, table salt, which your MD has been telling you for the last 15 years to avoid like the plague, and they are wrong. In 1958, a Harvard doctor published a study that showed there's no relationship between salt and high blood pressure. It does not exist. Salt is extremely important. It's made of two chemicals put together, sodium and chloride, NaCl. Your body needs salt to extract the chloride molecule. It needs the chloride molecule to have healthy and strong stomach acid, because stomach acid is hydrochloric acid, that's a hydrogen molecule, and a chloride molecule. So your body needs the chloride from the salt to make strong stomach acid. Why does your body need strong stomach acid? It needs strong stomach acid to digest your food. Why do you need to digest food? You need to extract the nutrients from the food. That's why you're eating the food. And by the way, I've talked about this a couple weeks ago. If you have heartburn, that's caused by not too much stomach acid, which is impossible. It's caused by not enough stomach acid. Again, your MD has gotten it completely wrong. So don't listen to your MD when it comes to anything having to do with nutrition. Don't listen to your MD when it has anything to do with chronic disease. You can listen to your MD about infectious disease and about trauma, but make sure you drug test them, because according to Harvard University, 51% of emergency room medical doctors are addicted to street drugs, alcohol, or prescription drugs. So if you're unlucky enough to be transported to the emergency room, have your doctor drug tested, and then go get some salt and start eating it, because salt's going to save your life. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. There's much more on the website at fireyourmdnow.com. By the way, if you'd like to call me, it's 866-582-9933, toll free, 866-582-9933. We'll be back in a minute. Dr. Peter Glidden, and this is Fire Your MD Now, and in the last segment of the show, I like to talk about vitamin M money. Vitamin M is a great thing, right? Keeps you warm in the summer, keeps you warm in the winter, keeps you cool in the summer, allows you to eat and do things, right? Allows you to relax on vacations. Money is a very important part of life. And in an economy like this, money is a hard commodity to come by. You think nutrients are hard to come by. Well, they are, not with our products. Money is even harder to come by. Now, but we have a solution. There are two ways that you can work with us. You can call us up, and we will tell you, or send us an email, visit the website, and we will tell you for free, no consultation charge, no office copay, health recovery solutions for different physical ailments. We have science-based, clinically verified methods to support and promote healthy lungs, support and promote healthy hearts, support and promote healthy blood sugar, support and promote healthy blood pressure, support and promote healthy central nervous systems. You name it, we've got it. And it's all science-based and clinically verified. This is not some type of theoretical mumbo-jumbo. So you tell us where your weak links are, and we'll tell you what to do to support and promote the health of that part of your body, and we'll even sell you the supplements at the wholesale price. At the wholesale price. You got to buy them somewhere. Get them from us. We'll give them to you at the wholesale price. Life is good. No office charges. Imagine that. You know, Dr. Wallach and myself have combined 53 years of clinical experience. Wallach did $25 million of federally funded research. That man has forgotten more about medicine and nutrition than most doctors know. We give you all of this information for free. Tell you what to do. You do the stuff, see how it works, prove it for yourself. Life is good. Or, if you're smart, you will join our cause. Because Dr. Wallach set the Longevity Company up as a networked business on purpose. He did it to populate his message of health recovery through nutrition as fast as humanly possible. We are building a grassroots coalition of the informed, people that understand how to help their friends and family and church members and community members recover their health with nutrients. It's easy to do this. Very, very, very easy. If you can pass the driver's license test, you can learn how to do this. It's not hard. So here's the deal. You come and you join us. It's a $10 one-time fee just to get your feet wet. And then if you really want to work this as a part-time or a full-time business, it's a $399 one-time fee. That $399 gets you $112 worth of vitamins and nutritional supplements. So really, it's only a $287 investment. It's a $287 investment. Now, let's say that Dr. Glidden is correct. Let's say that everything I have said on this radio show is correct and true. Everybody in this country is sick. The majority of chronic illnesses have their roots in malnutrition and nutrient deficiencies. So when we fulfill the nutrient deficiencies, everybody gets better. This is the key to health that the MD has completely overlooked. So who, as a business builder with the Longevity Company, who is your potential client? Everybody. Because everybody's sick. So let's break it down. You come and you join us for $399. You get $112 worth of products. And you show this message to 3 people a year. 3 people a year. And they show it to 3 people a year. You think you could do that? You think you could bring 3 people a year into the light of medical nutrition? And by the way, we show you how to do this. You don't have to become a doctor. You don't have to go to medical school. All you have to do is learn how to hand out a CD. We teach you how to do this. It's easy. You bring in 3 people a year. They bring in 3 people a year. At the end of 8 years, doing that, helping people to recover their health, everybody buys $112 worth of the world's best nutritional supplements a month. In 8 years, you're making $39,366 a month. And you've helped 6,561 people to recover their health. Is there any other business that can give you that type of return for a $287 investment? No. Ladies and gentlemen, check us out. You don't know what you're missing. Whatever else you do, stop eating fried food. Take the Mighty 90, your 91 essential nutrients. Live long and prosper. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. We'll be seeing you next week. Remember, it's all testimonials all next week. I'll see you then.